right, here we go. All right, guys. Today we're going to be performing a science experiment. Now, have either of you guys performed a science experiment before?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, at school?
But I didn't show it to like the whole entire school.
You didn't have to videotape it like we are now, but that's okay. All right, so today's science experiment is called salt versus ice. Do you guys have any thoughts of what we might be doing? Yes,
We
Adam.
might put ice in the salt.
We might put ice in the salt. I think you're onto something, yes.
We might test the sugar and the salt
Mm-hmm.
and see which one can stand through ice.
Ah, very good. I think you both are onto something. Well, we will talk more about the experiment in just a minute, but I just want to let you guys know why we're doing this. We're also going to go through the 7 steps of the scientific method. Have either of you guys learned that yet? Okay, and we're also going to talk about the 6 basic processes. Does that sound familiar to either of you yet?
Kinda like.
Kinda?
When we've had when I was walking around and I saw a 3rd grader teaching and I heard that.
You heard her talk? Okay, very good. All right, and I'll kind of point those out as we're going on, but I just want to tell you guys some expectations I have. The first is that I ask that you follow my directions. We got to listen closely and make sure we follow all the steps for the science experiment. The second is I ask that you guys work well together. It's going to take some communicating and some teamwork to do this. The third thing is I ask that you be responsible. We do have some breakable things, so I just ask that we be responsible and be careful with the equipment. And the fourth is to try your best. Nobody's perfect, so we're going to try our best, and that's why each science experiment takes a couple different trials or times to do. Okay? So, our first thing we're going to do, and this is one of the steps of the scientific method, is to state the problem. So what our problem is what makes ice melt faster? Sugar, which we have over here, or salt? So we're going to see which one of those will make the sugar melt faster. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Hang on. All right? So what we need to know is, does adding salt to ice and water slow down, speed up, or does it not change at all? Maybe it won't do anything.
It probably breaks the ice.
So breaks it, you think it's going to melt it?
Just like a little.
Just a little bit?
Big.
Okay. And then we're also going to talk about, is salt the only thing that's going to do that? Do you think there's something else that might be able to melt the ice? You think so? All right. Well, today we're going to explore how salt and sugar affect melting of ice. Does it make it go quicker, or would it, does it not? So what we just did is something that I'm going to ask you guys to do, and that was very good. Our next step in the scientific method is to develop a hypothesis, okay? And what that means is we're going to predict. You're going to tell me what will happen. So do you think salt or sugar will make the ice melt faster? Abby?
Sugar.
You think sugar? What do you think, Emma?
I think both.
You think they're both going to make them at the same rate? Okay. So what you guys did was you just developed your hypothesis and you just predicted what you think will happen. There's no right or wrong answer because we don't know right now, huh? Okay. So the next step is that we're going to design our experiment, which we've kind of already done. All right, so we have materials. There is 1 cup of water in here and 1 cup of water in here, and the waters are at the same temperature because we don't want one to be hotter than the other, correct? Okay, then we have 6 ice cubes. We have 3 over here and 3 over here. All right, then we have the salt and the sugar. Now you won't use all that's in there, but I wanted to make sure you had enough. We're going to use a stopwatch. We could use the clock that's on the wall since it's not a digital, but we're actually just going to use the clock on the phone to make it a little bit easier. And then you guys have paper and a pencil because you're gonna have to record sometimes, all right? So, you guys are going to work as a group, okay? And as you can see, I have already given you all the materials that you needed, all right? So we have already filled the glasses up, each with a cup of water, which, like I said, at the same temperature. Yes, Abby?
Can I put the sugar?
As soon as we get there, that is exactly what we're gonna do. But first, let's do the ice cube. Emma, can you put 3 ice cubes in here? And Abby, can you put your 3 ice cubes in here? And I kind of made sure the ice cubes were about the same size so that it would all go as planned. Put it in there.
It's hard to pick up.
Is it? It's probably cold too. Huh?
Man.
All right.
I don't know
So,
what it's
really quick, we're going to talk about controlling variables, okay? And that is actually a basic process, is to control variables. So, the cups, if you notice, the cups are the same because we don't want to have different cups because that could affect how the ice melts, right? I also told you that the water, the temperature of the water was the same. The amount of water is the same, because all that, maybe if we had a lot more water, it would affect how the ice melted, right? And of course, the amount of ice cubes that are in each. You know, if we put more ice cubes in one, then of course one's probably going to melt faster, huh? So all those are what we call variables that have to be controlled. By that we mean they have to be the same or very similar, okay? So our next step in the scientific method is going to be to record our data, but first, let's finish our experiment. So I have a tablespoon. Abby, if you can carefully put 2 tablespoons of sugar into the, here, I will help you. We want to make sure we have a full spoon. Very good. But here, yeah, and then just kind of, we'll kind of level it off. Okay, put that one in there. All right, and let's get another one. Can you do one more for me, please? We're going to do 2 tablespoons. Okay, now we're not going to stir. Okay, Emma, can you go and do yours quickly? We don't want to stir it up. We just kind of want it to be on the ice. Very good. Okay. Now, if we notice, our start time is 1:23. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of sit and wait, and we're going to watch and see about the ice melting. Okay. Is there anything you guys notice right now?
That the water in mine is like getting a little white.
Yeah, yours is kind of getting cloudy while Abby's is more clear, huh?
And I have a little bubble.
Do you have some bubbles in there?
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So we're going to just kind of wait and see how long it takes to melt. So if you guys don't mind, in the start time for trial 1, put the time is 1:23.